Okay, again, you are very welcome, my students, the participants of this course of Master Business Administration, Strategic Management Module, ST106. We are in session number 8. Chapter title is Key Issues in Corporate Strategy. And we are in part 1. And here it's me again, Associate Professor Majd Thakur. Over the last few chapters, we started talking about business strategy. Business strategy level. We define the meaning of a strategy as corporate level, business unit level, and functional level, for example, right? So, in the last lecture, number 7, previous one, number 7, we talk about key issues in business strategy and business as key issues in business level strategy. We talk about the product life cycle. Here we got 4 stages. Introduction, growth, maturity, and number 3, decline, number 4. Then we talk about, in chapter number 6, we talk about as business level strategy, we talk about SWOT analysis. Do you remember this? BCG, what else? We talk about ANSOF matrix, market product expansion or a grid. We talk about what else? We talk about General Electric matrix, gap analysis matrix. Yes. So all of that matrix and key issues, it was about business and at business level strategy. At business level strategy. Very good. Now it's time to go above to corporate strategy. At corporate level. Here your concern, again, this is corporate. This is business unit level. And this is functional level. So we talk about this in chapter number 3 and maybe 4 and 5. We talk about in chapter number 6, and now it's time to talk about 6 and 7. Now it's time to talk about corporate level in chapter number 8. Chapter number 8. So, keep listening, guys, my friends, my colleagues, please keep listening, pay attention, and start writing your notes, start writing down your notes, notice, a recommendation, a query, whatever. Ask me to talk about in the in the following slide and in this chapter. And just to remind you that strategy at corporate level is for leader people, more for strategic leadership, which concerns about where your business going. Where is your business going? Where you will not be in, let's say, in the following, let's say, 10 years. Which business, which country we will go in. Right? So guys, keep attention to this and be careful about the following, and you are very welcome for any query or question. So in this chapter, as usual, we provide intended learning outcomes. We will recognize corporate strategy, understand forming strategic group and its benefits, aspects of vertical integration, vertical expansion, related and unrelated diversification, understand the cases of strategic alliances. Understand the cases of strategic alliances between companies. Here we got some keywords. As usual, we provide some keywords to keep in mind and memorize, and to be used with your life, in your empirical and practical life. We start with corporate strategy, strategic group, vertical expansion and vertical integration, related and unrelated diversification. Good. We go ahead and we show to you the chapter structure, which is what is corporate strategy, what is strategic group, vertical and integrated expansion, related and unrelated diversification, and strategic alliances. Right. As we agreed, this will be in over two let's say parts. In this first part, and will be this for second part, will be discussed over two parts. Okay. So, what comes to your mind when I say corporate strategy and corporate analysis? So, in this chapter, we'll identify the meaning of corporate strategy and how to use strategic group analysis, the cases of vertical integration and expansion will be discussed with some examples, with variety of examples. The characteristics of related diversification and unrelated diversification will be discovered as well, and explain the meaning of strategic alliances and its advantage and disadvantage, and how strategic alliances are formed, how are companies form strategic alliances. Good. So again, what is corporate strategy? What is the main concern and scope of strategic alliance? Corporate strategy is concerned with the overall purpose and the scope of the business to meet stakeholder expectations. It is an approach to future that involves we are concerned about current and anticipated factors associated with customers and competitors. So we have external and internal environment. We should have synergy, harmony, know what are the main threats and what are the main threats and opportunities, define our strengths and weaknesses, and to face this issue. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So we keep going ahead. To find out strategic group. What is a strategic group? What is a strategic group? Of course, one of the main our concern is one of the main our concern is aligning policies and strategies with your business scope and direction. With our business and direction. Okay, now don't forget that synergy, harmony, alignment, strategic alignment. Okay. A strategic group used in strategic management. It groups companies within an industry that have similar business models, or similar combinations of strategies, or similar business models or strategies, combination of strategies. For example, the restaurant industry. Yes, we have huge sector of restaurant industry can be divided into several strategic groups, including fast food, fine dining based on variables such as preparation time, pricing, and presentation. Okay. Hunt coined the term strategic group while conducting an analysis of the appliance industry. After he discovered a higher degree of competitive rivalry between specific groups of companies. Specific groups of companies. Right. So, the Asymmetrical strategic groups cause the industry to have more rapid innovation. I mean, when we group in an industry, for example, this chemical industry, or let's say this car industry, when we group companies into strategic groups, that make more let's say sense, and what can we classify and categorize and classify these groups and understand what are their characteristics. What are their characteristics? So this can lead to higher quality and lower profitability, with lower prices and more innovation. This asymmetric group. Strategic groups are not to be confused with Porter generic strategies. Okay, guys? Porter generic strategies, do you remember? Just to remind you, Porter generic strategies, cost leadership strategy, differentiation, and focus or niche. But strategic group something different. Here we classify business into specific groups, asymmetric groups. Not they are the same. They are not the same. There is diversity and differences between them. So, strategic group analysis aim to identify organizations with similar strategic characteristics following some strategies. For example, characteristics. Sorry, here. Yes, some examples of characteristics are extent of a product, geographic coverage and area, market segment, distribution channel, and extent of branding. So here we classify business in terms of specific characteristics and into some sections: extent of a product, extent of geographic coverage, number of market segments, distribution channels, extent of a branding. Extent of marketing and extent of a branding. How we can use and get benefit of grouping companies into strategic group or analyzing this strategic groups will benefit us in the following area or topic or axis. So it can help identify who is there is competitors. Who are your competitors? What spaces they compete? So when you group companies into similar groups, you identify their characteristics and identify how they compete and what are the main characteristics. It raises the question of how likely or possible it is for another organization to move from one strategic group into another. So let's say we have here car industry group number 1 with some and specific characteristics. Cargo group number 2 with as well different characteristics. So how can this company in group A will move or can move or it could move to number B or number 2? Here they have differences and variety of differences and variety of similarities. So can this company go on or this company come into this group? Number 1. So this is the question. This is a good question. This is a great question. Right. This one of benefit of classifying business into strategic group. Strategic group mapping. Listen to and pay attention to this word mapping. Make map to strategic group. Used to identify opportunities and identify problems. This helps identify problems and opportunities. Yes, guys? Right. Very good one. And we go ahead. What is vertical integration? What is vertical integration? So we finish the first section talking about the company's strategic group, mapping strategic group, and how this analysis is used to identify problems, to identify threats, opportunities, and benefits, etc. Good, guys? And so we illustrated what is the differences and the main characteristics of strategic group. Now we go ahead and identify, illustrate, and to grasp and capture what is vertical integration. So it means integration, and especially vertical one, it shows firms to what extent firms own its upstream supplier and downstream buyers. In contrary to horizontal one, it is typified by one firm engaged in different parts of production, growing raw materials, manufacturing, transportation, marketing, etc. So it try to, or this is the supply chain. This is a supply chain. So try to own. To what extent do you own this node and this areas and this manufacturing areas? This is vertical one. Okay, let's see. Let's discover more about companies that got vertical integration. They might united through hierarchy with the common owner. They might produce different products or related and unrelated products, which finally combine to satisfy a common need, market need. We have a great experience with Andrew Carnegie. He is the steel Tycoon company, which introduced the idea of vertical integration. Let's see what happened with this company. So, mainly, later on we'll see what happened with, or what they done current still. But before that, let's illustrate what are the main three types of integration. The main three types of integration. In fact of the matter, we mainly have three types. 1, 2, 3. Backward vertical integration, forward vertical integration, and balanced vertical integration. The three directions. 2 directions and the mid between them. 2 directions and the mid between them. Okay. What the mean? Just before I go ahead, let me show you what the meaning of backward, forward, balanced one. Let's suppose we have car industry. You have car plant. You are manufacturing cars. So, here is the driver. Okay. Backward integration. This manufacturing process to process a car. What we need? We need raw material. We need equipment. We need, let's say, tires. We need engine. We need the glasses. So, we make backward integration. We buy. We acquire, let's say, a glass industry or glass company or engine company, or let's say, or with, or and, I say or with or and, let's say, tire industry. In this case, we don't need any more suppliers. We provide ourselves with the main input. This is backward integration. When we acquire our supplier and buy them. Now we got this input. We make a processing. We got an output, cars, right? We give cars to customers, to market. We give cars to exhibition, to retailer and wholesaler. Forward one, to acquire and buy exhibition and a wholesaler and maybe retailer and or. Right? So we go step toward our customers and acquire them. This is forward integration. We go step ahead. We go many steps ahead toward our let's say clients, toward our customers, and we buy exhibitions, car exhibitions, and some wholesaler or retailer, and we become in contact with the final consumer. We become in contact with our final consumer. Get it, guys? Okay, hope so. The balance one, to have forward with backward. Balanced one to acquire the whole series, the whole process. Input, processing, output, places. To have in backward and forward integration and to capture the whole process. And this is very a critical moment and very good point for our very critical point for our let's say for our customers and our suppliers, and to acquire the whole process. Let's have 1 or 2, 3 minutes break. Then in the second section of this of chapter number 8, we will have discussion about Carnegie's theme, and to discover the whole process of what they have done over their steel industry and how they make balanced integration between backward and forward integration. For the time being, I thank you for your attention. Take your time for 4 or 5 minutes break and get back with me to carry on our discussion in part number 2, section number 2 of chapter 8. Thanks for now. See you later.